Peace. I'm making this video today basically addressing some of the shit that I see in our community on the Facebook timeline, Instagram. Like, at what point in time do we decide to be a role model for our youth? The war is on. The war been going on for 400 years in our community. There's a war going on. There's a silent war going on. All of the TV shows is poison. All of the foods that we're eating out of the supermarket is poison. The mentality of our people, the adults that's running around talking about these young gay boys, young gay girls running around, our mentalities is poison. So what the fuck are we giving them to look up to? We not standing our ground and holding down our households like we supposed to. We not setting standards, rules, and morals and principles for ourselves to walk and represent so we can give them something to look up to at all. But instead, we bashing the shit out of them. And you know what their mentality is? Fuck you old head ass niggas. Because they feel like they was abandoned by their fathers anyway. So at what point in time do we show them and lead by example what they should be doing, how they should be doing it? I mean, look at your timelines. Don't just look at your timelines. Look at what you do behind the scene that you don't post up on Facebook. Look at how you live in your household. How you carry yourself when you go outside and stand on the same street corner. On one side of the street, you got the 16-year-olds to 26-year-olds. And on the other side of the street, with the 40 in your hand, standing in front of the barbershops, you got the 50-year-old, the 40s to the 50-year-old, and the 60-year-old standing out there with their pants sagging, drinking in front of their own barbershops, in front of the big parks. At what point in time do you take responsibility for your own actions? Because believe it or not, whether you are male or female, there's a child somewhere looking at you, looking to mimic you in your ways. And this is exactly why our community is so fucked up. It's time to take responsibility on how you carry yourself. There's somebody watching you. I got a 2-year-old, 3-year-old in the next room that's sleeping. When she wake up, she's watching everything that I do, preparing herself to mimic everything that I do. So I got to take responsibility on how I carry myself. Our children, our youth should not have to look to celebrities for their heroes. It should be their mom and dad, their aunts and uncles. Family does not stick together no more the way that we should. This is why the kids is going out in the streets and they joining gangs. There's nowhere else to go. There's nowhere else to go. The Board of Ed is the gateway to prison. The teachers there don't give a fuck about the students. The majority of them live upstate in their big houses. They travel down to the city, collect all that money, and go back to where they live at. They don't give a fuck about your community. And it's not their responsibility to. It's your responsibility to care about your community. It's your responsibility to live and lead by example. We not doing that. We not doing that. Everybody popping bottles, going to the club. At what age? My grandmother was never in the club. Neither one of my grandmothers, I can never remember them going to the club every weekend. Some of y'all, we grandparents. At what point do you give your child some spirituality? Whether it be through your religion, whether it be through whatever practice that elevates you and make you your better self. When do you give that to your children? If we don't snap out of it and get on top of our job, there's a war going on mentally, physically, spiritually, financially in our communities. We don't even have a community. Our communities we live in the hood, and even the hood now is being broken up. Brooklyn ain't Brooklyn no more. White people are moving all through the black communities in Brooklyn. It's not the same no more. The Jews is everywhere moving in the communities. In Harlem does not look the same no more. We fought hard for Harlem. Harlem was ours. Now it's not no more. And I don't blame the white man for that. You know why? Because most of the people in Harlem running around with $60,000 to $100,000 cars. Every few years switching up on cars. Nobody thought to say, hey, let me buy into my community. Let me show the youth what we supposed to do. Let's buy this property right here. Let's buy this lot right here and grow some vegetation so we can have our own food supplies so we don't have to wait for this garbage to be trucked into our community. Nobody's leading by example. Instead, you know what y'all doing? You going, spending your your dollar on your best outfit just to go stand on a street corner and brag and boast about what you got living in a little winky dink ass apartment. You can't even keep your apartment fly because you got so many boxes of sneakers through your shit. That's insanity. These Facebook groups, all y'all do is run around and talk about banging on the beast. That shit is whack. It's played out. It's corny. I'm tired of seeing shit on my timeline with y'all sitting up there talking about white people are dying of skin cancer. Aha. Your mama dying of breast cancer. Ovarian cancer, stomach cancer. But we ain't going to even go there. Instead of talking about banging all the beasts all day, let's lead by example for the youth. Let's get our children, let's get our next door neighbor children out of the foster care system. Why y'all never talk about that? That never comes to mind. The only thing y'all dudes can talk about is trying to, basically trying to impress some of these females. Y'all use these groups to get pussy, but y'all never talk about how we can heal and save our youth. You never talk down about the drug dealers who selling drugs in our community. Y'all never talk about the pedophiles, but instead I see y'all posting up pictures of Dr. York. How do you lead by example? It's time to lead by example. I mean, come on, dogs. Little Yachty is going to be the leader of the next generation? Is this what they're going to have to look up to? Or is it going to be some gangster rapper? Why do I have to watch Thor, Superman, X-Men, or one of them cartoon series to get a black leader or a leader for the black household? Why do superheroes have to come in white movie packages? Why we cannot have no black heroic figures in our movies? Why everything got to be about drugs being sold in our community? Why everything has to be about death and destruction? Why is it that the goal of a black young man is to sell cocaine and crack to get a brick, to have a kilo? Why is that the goal? To fuck up another household, to leave another child in a household in a predicament where that they house is a trap house, the mother's cracked out, and now there's another bambada coming in there fucking some more youth. Why is that the goal? Where is our leadership? Where is the role models? Where is the next door neighbors knocking on the next door knowing that this parent over there is fucked up on drugs and going to take those children out there and feeding them and making sure them children are safe in your household? Where's the parents standing out there? Fuck the school crossing guards, which they're about to stop. Why we not standing out there watching our children go to school the same way the pedophiles are? Them grown-ass men standing in front of the store every single day between 7:30 and 9 o'clock because they know the young girls is going to be flooded going to school and they trying to hit on your child. Where's the role models at? So at what point and what time do we decide to wake up, to snap out of the bullshit, stop going to the club every week, stop drinking? If you drinking and you smoking, do everybody on the internet need to know that? Must I know every time you crack a bottle of Hennessy? Must everybody see that? It's cool sometimes to take a drink when your children go to bed. Do they always have to see you high? Do they got to go to school with their clothes smelling like weed? At what point in time do we stand up and take responsibility for the shit that we put out in our own community? I don't want to hear about the white man being a devil. Not when the black man is molesting his own nieces and nephews in his household. We are our own worst devil. It's time to lead by example and clean up our community. Because at the end of the day, you can't throw rocks in a glass house. You can't sit up there and point your finger at something that you have no control over, but then ignore the shit that you do have control over. When I walk in front of your building, in the projects or whatever, black communities, why the fuck is there trash in front of the building or in the hallways? So you waiting for the white man to come clean it up? No, it's your responsibility to clean up your own community. It's time for us to clean up. Do what you got to do, black man. Stand up.